In Seattle, the story is that parks, water, and views require a seven-figure house budget. Zillow's home value estimates from May 2026 say otherwise. Condos on those same Seattle streets can run up to $1.3 million less, and these 5 neighborhoods prove it. The trick is not that condos erase cost. HOA dues, building age, unit size, parking, and long-term appreciation all change the monthly and resale math. The trick is location. In these 5 Seattle neighborhoods, the condo median sits roughly $794,000 to $1.3 million below the single-family median, while the parks, trails, shops, water, and skyline views remain part of the same neighborhood map. Number 5 is University Village. University Village is the lowest-priced condo entry, with condos around $403,504 against a single-family median near $1,198,001. That is roughly $794,000 of separation. Right next to U Village shops and the Burke-Gilman Trail. Walk Score rates the area at 92, which fits the everyday reality here. Errands, food, retail, campus edges, and trail access are all packed tightly together. What makes University Village interesting is that the name sounds like a shopping destination, but the real estate story is more layered. You have the retail core, nearby University of Washington Energy, the Burke-Gilman connecting east and west, and residential pockets that can feel surprisingly tucked in for such a busy part of Northeast Seattle. The condo loophole here is about proximity. A lower condo median can place the same trail network and the same neighborhood conveniences within reach of buildings that sit near much higher-priced single-family streets. The trade-off is that the condo stock around here can vary a lot from building to building. Some units are smaller, some buildings are older, and HOA dues can shift the true monthly cost in a way the headline price does not show. But as a pure location comparison, University Village sets the tone for the whole countdown. 4 of these 5 neighborhoods have condo medians under $511,000, even while single-family medians clear roughly $1.19 million. Number 4 is Magnolia. Magnolia brings a bigger spread. Houses near $1,380,126 at the median, compared with condos near $450,557. That is about a $930,000 gap on the peninsula that holds Discovery Park, Seattle's largest park. The overall neighborhood home value estimate sits around $1,295,644, which shows how much the housing mix can blur the headline number. Magnolia's geography is the whole story. It sits west of Queen Anne and Interbay, wrapped by bluff views, quieter residential streets, and major green space, with Discovery Park anchoring the northwest side. A single-family address and a condo address can both share access to the same trails, the same bluff walks, the same village-style commercial pockets, and the same peninsula setting. The price gap exists partly because the housing types are not the same product, but the neighborhood setting is still shared. This is where the phrase "same Seattle streets" really starts to matter. A condo in Magnolia is not a detached house with a yard, and it may not capture the same land value or long-term appreciation pattern, but it can still sit inside the same neighborhood identity, close to Discovery Park, connected to Magnolia Village, and positioned on one of Seattle's most recognizable residential peninsulas. When the median gap approaches $930,000, that location overlap becomes hard to ignore. Number 3 is Queen Anne. Queen Anne takes the condo loophole up the hill, where the single-family median sits near $1,456,399, and condos run about $510,692. That is roughly $946,000 less for condo ownership in the same broad neighborhood, with Kerry Park views close by. Queen Anne's overall home value estimate is about $1,118,848. But the condo versus house split tells the sharper story. The neighborhood is famous for its elevation, staircases, historic homes, and views back toward downtown, Elliott Bay, and the Space Needle. Upper Queen Anne has its commercial stretch along Queen Anne Avenue North, while the lower slopes connect quickly into Seattle Center and the edge of downtown. That creates a rare mix: landmark viewpoints, older apartment and condo buildings, classic residential blocks, and city-adjacent access, all stacked on the same hill. Queen Anne is also a reminder that medians are not predictions for any specific listing. A condo with a major view, updated interiors, parking, or a newer building can sit far above the median, while smaller or older units may fall below it. Still, the median gap is the point. A house median near $1.46 million, compared with a condo median just over $510,000, means the neighborhood name carries very different price tags depending on the housing type. And, for this episode, Queen Anne adds something emotional to the math. Kerry Park is one of Seattle's postcard locations, and the surrounding streets are some of the most recognized in the city. A detached house and a condo do not offer the same ownership experience, but they can place the same skyline, the same hilltop identity, and the same city landmarks within the daily orbit. That is exactly why Queen Anne lands in the middle of the countdown, rather than near the bottom. Number 2 is Montlake. Montlake comes in just shy of the $1 million gap. Single-family homes here run a median near $1,490,114, while condos come in around $491,305. That puts the difference close to $1 million beside the Washington Park Arboretum and the Montlake Cut. The broader home value estimate is about $1,445,444, which again hides the split between detached homes and condos. Montlake is small, but it carries a lot of Seattle geography. It sits between Capitol Hill, the University District, Portage Bay, and the Arboretum, with the Montlake Cut connecting Lake Washington to Lake Union through the Ship Canal system. Streets here can feel leafy and residential, but the neighborhood is also tied into some of the city's most important water, trail, and campus-adjacent corridors. That combination is why detached homes command such a high median. The condo angle in Montlake is not about matching a house feature for feature. It is about access to the same neighborhood framework: the Arboretum nearby, the cut, the bridges, the water, and the central Seattle position. A condo median around $491,000, compared with a house median near $1.49 million, creates one of the biggest location discounts. The gap is not an accident. Condos are often smaller, older, or part of buildings with shared costs. Still, Montlake's number 2 ranking comes from how compact and place-specific the neighborhood feels. There are not endless streets to choose from, and the identity is strongly tied to the Arboretum, waterways, and a central east side of the city position. When the difference between housing types approaches $1 million, the question becomes very simple. How much of Montlake's value is the structure, and how much is the setting? In Montlake, the setting does a lot of the talking. Before the top spot, here is the pattern tying all 4 so far together. University Village, Magnolia, Queen Anne, and Montlake all show the same basic split. Houses above roughly $1.19 million, condos below about $511,000 in 4 of the 5 cases, and location amenities that do not check your housing type before you use them. Parks, trails, village streets, water access, and views are neighborhood features. The price tag changes with the building. Number 1 is Sandpoint. Sandpoint has the widest gap in the city for this countdown. Single-family homes carry a median near $1,722,801, while condos run about $409,505. That is roughly $1.3 million apart beside Magnolia Park and the Lake Washington shore. The overall home value estimate sits around $1,311,511. But the buy-type numbers reveal the real story. The setting is what pushes Sandpoint to number 1. Magnolia Park is one of Seattle's major open spaces, with fields, shoreline, trails, boat access, and wide Lake Washington views shaping the neighborhood's identity. Sandpoint is farther from the city center feel than Queen Anne or Montlake, and its walk score is much lower at 14. So daily life here leans more spread out. But the lake and park combination is exactly why the detached home median climbs so high. The condo loophole in Sandpoint is dramatic, because the condo median stays close to the lower end of this countdown, while the single-family median is the highest of all 5. That does not mean every condo is inexpensive, and it does not mean the monthly cost is just the purchase price. HOA dues, assessments, parking, reserves, and building condition matter. It also does not erase the fact that single-family homes may appreciate differently over time, because land value is a major part of the equation. But Sandpoint proves the headline better than anywhere else. The same broad neighborhood, the same Lake Washington shoreline, the same Magnuson Park access, and a median gap of about $1.3 million between houses and condos. In a city where water and park access can send prices sharply upward, this is the cleanest example of how housing type can change the entire price conversation. That is why Sandpoint takes the top spot. So, the 5 are University Village, Magnolia, Queen Anne, Montlake, and Sandpoint. The takeaway: in Seattle, the neighborhood name is only half the price story. Every number in this video is sourced, with links in the description. Which neighborhood would have made your top 5? If this helped, tap like and subscribe, and tell me what Seattle real estate angle to cover next.